Hi everyone, my name is Zuhainiza binti Bakar. Today, I want to share with you guys about communication. What is communication? Communication, if you ask Mr. Google, he will give you hundreds of different definitions. Okay, now let's make it simple. Communication is referred to the process of sending, transferring, exchange of information from one person to another person. In another word, is from a sender to a receiver. For example, right now, I am the sender and you are the receiver. And I'm sending you information by using this communication process. Okay, when we talk about communication, there are two types of communication that you should know. First is the interpersonal communication and the second one is intrapersonal communication. So what is the difference between interpersonal communication and intrapersonal communication? Interpersonal communication is referred to the communication that we have between two or more people. For an example, we are talking in a group discussion. That is what we call interpersonal communications. Meanwhile, intrapersonal communication is referred to the internal communication. Okay, you remember the keyword inter mean external, outside. Meanwhile, intra mean internal, within ourselves. Okay. When we talk about intrapersonal communication, it is referred to communication that we had within ourselves. For example, we are talking to ourselves or we are start thinking. Okay, monologue is an example of intrapersonal communication. Okay, let me give you one simple example that will make you better understand about the concept of interpersonal communication and intrapersonal communication. Okay, let's say I'm in a class right now and I'm at the field right now. Okay, then this good looking guy in one corner and I feel like I want to talk to him and I want to approach him. So I go to him and I say to him, "Hi, you look so handsome today." And he replied, "Yeah, you look gorgeous too." So that's what we call interpersonal communication because we are having a mutual agreement on a certain message. Okay, I give you another scenario. I'm in class right now also. Then I saw one guy in the corner, one good looking guy in the corner. Then I start think and talking to myself internally. This guy looks so handsome. This guy look handsome like that. That what we call intrapersonal communication. Okay, I give you another simple example. Okay, in class let's say, lecturer will start asking something and you will start thinking, oh please do not ask me, I don't want to answer. That is referred to intrapersonal communication. Next, I will proceed with the characteristic of these two types of communication. The first communication is interpersonal communication. There are four characteristics of interpersonal communication. First of all is inescapable. Okay, when we hold some thought inside us and not letting it out verbally, it will become out in non-verbal aspect. For example, mood, attitude, or body language. The second one is irreversible. Once something has been written, said, or submitted, it cannot be taken back. It is forever in mind of others. The third one is complex. Interpersonal communication sometimes can be complex. There are high chances of miscommunications will happen. That's why you have to make sure when there is no communication during communicate with others. And the last one is contextual. Okay, context is an integral part of communication. It can be different based on situations, environment, or relation. For example, when we wanted to communicate in a formal setting, and so we have to change to formal communication. The second communication is intrapersonal communication. The first aspect is self-concept. One self-concept is a center of communications. It includes the evaluation of one belief, value, attitudes, and how evaluation plays into what occurs in the outer world. Second aspect is perceptions. Perception is how people interpret what is going on around, and it can influence intrapersonal communications. And the last one is expectation. It is based on intrapersonal communication with oneself, one own self, and prediction of what will happen based on perception of what has happened. Okay, everyone is still doing okay. Okay, I will proceed with the differences between interpersonal communication and intrapersonal communication. Okay, the definition for interpersonal communication, I repeat back, is referring that something that occur between people, and while intrapersonal communication is referring to something that occurs within oneself. Okay, second one is parties that involve. In interpersonal communication, there are always more than one person. It doesn't matter if the communication happen online, over the phone, or in an email. Two people communicating means interpersonals. This is contrast to intrapersonal communication, in which only done with one own mind, with one own thought and feeling and ideas. Okay, you get the difference, right? Second one is reason. Reason is what does it happen. Okay, the reason you may want to use interpersonal communication is to tell story, share an idea or experience, or relay information to someone else or a group of people. And the reason you may use intrapersonal communication is to reflect on something that happened, make goals and plan, visualize the future, and get closer with your own feeling. Okay, the media use and feedback. Okay, feedback for intrapersonal communication can be vast. It may be verbal, non-verbal, such as nod, eyebrow raise, and it may be oral or written. Intrapersonal feedback can be in person, over the phone, or on a computer, or in a letter. For media used for intrapersonal communication is much simpler. It's always going to be considered in a person, although it also can be done live, in audio recording, or in writing. Feedback for intrapersonal communication is hard to define. Your feedback is your own, or only you know how to react to your own feeling, thought, and ideas. Everyone, you guys still doing okay, right? So I will proceed with interpersonal and intrapersonal skills, which is just like this. Okay, there are 8 skills in interpersonal communications. The first one is communications. There are 3 types of communication. First is verbal communication, second is non-verbal communication, and the third one is public speaking. All 3 need to be strong in order for someone to have high interpersonal skills. The second skill is conflict management. Interpersonal communication is done by more than one person, and when that happens, there are bound to be a conflict at one point or another. It is important to have a good conflict management, both between you and others, and for managing others' conflict. The third skill is empathy. Empathy is a process where we are listening to others, putting ourselves in their shoes, and understanding them in what and understanding them. That is what empathy is all about. And if you are able to have strong empathy, and you are one step closer to mastering the art of interpersonal communication. The fourth one is leadership. Having a strong leadership skill means the ability to motivate and encourage others to help everyone succeed. You don't need to be in a leadership position in order to be a leader. Okay. Okay. The fifth skill is listening. Okay. Uh, Interpersonal communication is not just about expressive communication, but receptive as well, and that's mean listening. Taking an active listening role as someone is speaking is a great way to level up your interpersonal skills. And the sixth skill is negotiations. Being a great negotiator does hand in hand with having good high interpersonal skills. Negotiation requires listening skills, planning and visualizations, and problem solving. It is all important part of interpersonal communications. And the seventh skill is a positive attitude. When you have a good positive attitude, you are bound to have a positive interaction with other people. This interpersonal skill will help you succeed either in school, work, or in your personal life. Okay, lastly is teamwork. Okay, teamwork. Interpersonal communication is communication with more than one person. So, of course, the teamwork is the key. Collaboration, team building, active listening, and conflict resolution are all important team-based aspects of interpersonal communication. Okay, I will continue with intrapersonal communication skills. The first skill is visualization. This is the ability to see things in the mind, how they are meant to be, and how you plan them. Many athletes, artists, and politicians have great visualization skills, and they can see themselves in a situation and make plan how to succeed in that situations. Second one is recognize negativity. When these things start becoming negative in your mind, it is important to stop and realize that it is happening. Being aware of negative thought and having the power to turn them is an important of intrapersonal skills. And the third one is compassion. Being able to see another person's perspective and therefore have compassion for them is an intrapersonal skill as well. Putting aside your own views and your own experience is a part of having compassion. And lastly, decision making. When it comes to make a decision, an intrapersonal person has the ability to scan potential options, visualize them, and make the right decision. The ability to do so without stress and inner conflict is a skill that you can achieve with practice. How to improve intrapersonal skills? Okay, one of the most important part of being intrapersonal is awareness. Awareness of your own mind, of yourself in a situation, awareness of how you are perceived by others. Uh, while it may not be so obvious, one way to improve interpersonal skill is by reaching outward. Ask others on how you are doing. By asking other people for their perception of your ideas and action, you become more aware of what you are doing and how you are acting. To become more in touch with your thought and feeling, practice mindfulness and meditation throughout the day. Okay, Sufinasuha will continue this sharing about presentations.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Sufinasuha and today I will present about this topic, which is presentation skill. What is a presentation skill? Presentation is a structure, prepared and speech based means of communicating information or ideas, concept, issues talk about to a group or audience to inform or persuade them. So, why we need to conquer the presentation skill? It's because to properly structure our presentation, to overcome our nervousness, to develop powerful body language, to deliver effective presentation, and to learn what not to do during presentation. So that's why it's important because skill required to give a good presentation. It also can be developed by practice, and more practice. What are the steps needed to make a presentation? Okay, let's take a look at the slide. So the first one is planning, and the second one is preparation, and the third one is delivery. So in context of planning, you need to know what is the purpose of your presentation, and you need to think who will be your audience and what are you trying to achieve through this presentation. Step number 1, you have to list your objective and why are you making this presentation. So step number 2, focus on your audience, who are there. Focus on what audience need to know, not what you know, and consider audience level and interest. You have also decide what you want the audience to do, and after that you design your message, organize your material, design the look of your presentation and create the slide. Talking about slide, do not put too much content. Usually audience don't like unusual color combination, or dark text on a light background works well. So keep your color palette to 3 or 4 colors, and you also should choose a font that easy to read and not too small. For a proper planning, you can use format of the content, which are divided by 3. The first one is head, second one is body, and third one is foot, which is conclude. So in head, you can introduce your topic. For example, like you have to present love, about love. So in head, introduce your love. What is love? Why people have to love everyone? Why we have to deliver our love? So next is body, which is we have to state the key issue. We have 3 key under the body. Issues 1, issues 2, issues 3. So maybe you can put number 1 is you have to be honest, to love. Number 2, you have to be responsible. Number 3, you have to be loyal. So in these 3 context, you can put any ideas or any summarize to these 3. So maybe in context of issue number 1, which is honest, you can write that, you can say that you have to be honest, you have to always be honest to your partner. You don't have to lie. So in responsible, you have to taking care of your partner. You have to be responsible to make they happy. And for food is you have to summarize by restart the issues, or you can say about the key point. The key point is, the first is love, second is three body, which is you have to be honest, responsible and loyal to partner, and then you can conclude all. So let's move on to preparation. The fundamentals rule for presentation are: number 1, subjects of presentation. You have to decide your message in advance and have a strong conviction on what you want to talk about. So number 2, organize your point logically. So you have to organize what to say at the beginning. Maybe the induction, you can use some creative idea to attract the audience, and what you deal in the middle, and how to close the presentation. You want to make a quiz or open any question to audience? It's all up to your creativity idea, but you must summarize the entire presentation. Number 3, rehearse in private. So you need to practice delivery of presentation, because practice make a person perfect. So tipulah kalau kita tak pernah practice depan cermin sampai 10 kali. So but believe me, the more you practice, the more fluent your words to present, and you can be more confident to deliver your content. So number 4, keep note to a minimum. So if necessary, you can use index card, sticky note, or your own note. So jot down the main point. Don't write too much text, but just simple main point. So if you forget the whole, you can just take a look at the note and remember the point. In preparation stage, I give you a tips, which is you have to try conquer your nervousness. If you are nervous, you can do well in presentation. So try to minimize your fears and take a deep breath and try to relax. If required, drink a little water. So you have to concentrate on the topic and not the audience. Not the audience. You have to concentrate on the topic. And remember, winners continue, losers stop. The most important element of the presentation is the speaker him or herself and how they deliver the content and interact the visual aid. The presenter can control the delivery in 4 areas: the eyes, the voice, expression, and the body. Yes, the eyes are the most important part of the body when making a presentation. By using your eyes in a presentation, you can hold the audience attention and engage them. If you look away from the audience, sure you will lose them. Next is the voice. This is one area which students find difficult to master. The voice are referred to anything that come out of your mouth. In general, you should aim for slow, clear delivery through your voice. Expression. The face signal how confident you are. Even if you are feel awful inside, try to present a relaxed and confident facial expression. Smile if you can. Last but not least is the body. The body posture can also signal how you feel about the presentation. A nice, relaxed, upright posture is the best. If you video record yourself doing a presentation and then look back at video, you might be surprised. Why? Because sometimes you might be scratching your head, touching your nose, putting hand in the pocket. The first message you can make with your hand is the staple gesture. Is it like this? You put your hand like this, here. And you can stop talking here and here. It suggests you are confident and ready. So, that's all from me. I will pass my presentation to Nurul Atiqah Azhari to continue the presentation. Thank you.
So, hi, Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera to all my fellow friends and Dr. Hayati. Okay, so my name is Nur Atiqah binti Mohd Azhari, and I will continue about action research skill. So let's move to the definition of action research skill. Okay, action research skill, which is educated at degrees of rigor and discernment to the evaluate process, which is this move is made by individual or a group of educator with a student in their immediate care. So, teacher or educator focus on aspect of their practice that they would like to improve. Okay, such as if they major in counseling, so if she or he will use the skill in their class, okay, in their class to help their group or to help their student who is need their help. Okay, so AR is useful in solving a classroom problem or a group problem. Okay, so the keyword here is solving a problem or a group problem with their skill. And so this is a summary of action research, which can make you be more understand about the definition and the concept of action research. So the first one is the improvement of practice. Okay, why AR can improve your practice? Okay, the concept of AR is practice your skill. So, which is if you measure in one skill, so when you apply it to solve a problem, so if you had 3 or 4 problems in 1 month, so you will use the same skill and you will modify or you will make some innovation to your skill. So it will make you be more better. So that is AR function to improve your practice. Okay, to improve your skill by using a practice. Okay, so second one is improvement of understand the practice. So when the skill is practice, when you practice your skill, so you will more understand about how to use the skill, where to use the skill, when you need to do the skill. Okay, you will be more understand. So the third one is the improvement of situation in which the practice take place, which is when you had a problem, so you do the practice will take this to the problem, to the practice will take to the place to solve a problem. So which is how to solve the problem easily. Okay, so you don't get nervous too much, like that. So the fourth one is to solve problem in classroom. So this is the AR function, which is to solve problem in classroom, to improve teaching and learning process, which is you will be a better educator when you learn about the student, when you learn about a new skill, when you observe what you need to do if you had a problem. So this is an AR summary. So this is the concept of AR, which can make you more understand and can make you make a comparison, okay, about the action research and the other research. Okay, so action research is to gather information. Okay, to gather information by a teacher, a counselor, a principal, where they will get information about how they facilitate their school, okay, how they manage their school, how they manage a classroom, a group, and then how they solve a problem in a classroom, in a group, in a school. Okay, so second one is to facilitate the change, to solve a problem, and to improve understanding and skill. Okay, there is a concept of action research. So there is three types of action research by Grundy, 1982, which is first is a practical practical AR, which is it is to improve practice by developing and applying a personal knowledge and wisdom of participant. So the keyword here is developing and applying a personal knowledge and wisdom of participant, which is when they work in a group of college and assist by a facilitator. So the teacher will carefully and reflectively implement an innovation that she or he believe good and will assist it to the student. So this means teacher will give a reflective and will make some innovation to the group, okay, that she or he believe that the method or the skill or the innovation is good for the group, okay. So it is about the facilitator know what the benefits of skill to the group, okay, what the group need, okay. So this is a practical AR. Okay, second is emancipatory action research, which is this type of action involve full movement like practical practice action research, but the power of the to decide problem, to decide how to solve a problem is not come from the facilitator, which is not from a teacher, not from the individual, not from the principal. So the power will be decided by the group. So the student need to think about how to solve a problem, okay, about within the group, okay. So the third one is a technical AR, which is technical AR is a facilitator combines a group of practitioner to implement an innovation such as like a cooperative learning, but according to her or his presets, okay. This is the goal of AR. So goal of AR to create a simple, a practical, a repeatable process or of iterative learning, okay, and make some evaluation and improvement that leads to increase a better result for school, teacher and program. So we can see here the goal tell us about the concept of AR. So from here we can know what the characteristic of AR. So we know it a simple and repeatable process, okay. So now we are moved to the characteristic of action research by Lewin, 1946, which is this is a requiring process to do an AR. So first we have a problem. So describe current situation, which is we need to know what a problem occur in our class or in our group. So what is the current problem, what the current issue, okay. We need to analyze what a problem, we need to find out how to manage this class, how to solve the problem. So first we need to know, we need to observe what kind of problem that happen in our group, okay. Second is think a strategy, design. So second is design, which is develop strategy for improve the strategy, which is we know what happened to our class, okay. We know there is lack of attention in our class, so we need to think about skill, okay, about how to make our student pay a lot of attention in our class. So this is a design. So we design or we plan a skill, plan what we need to do and practice in our class, okay. So third is action. Action is identify a force for, okay. And then we have a reflection. Reflection is looking back for your action after collecting data, which is identify force, which is what we need to do in the class. We need to be strict or we need to be more close to them. So reflection is when we collect a data, so if the data is good or is bad, so we need to looking back either for looking back to our action, either the action is good or either the action is proper that to use in our class, okay, or either the action is can help to achieve a goal, okay. So after collecting the data, we need to reflect ourselves, okay. We need to reflect ourselves or our action. Is it good? Is it good or is it bad? Okay. So for the fifth one is a capture. is the learning is accessible to others. Okay, so now we are moved to the importance of AR. Okay, why AR is important to us? Okay, why AR is important to our school, to our teaching and learning. So first one is to encourage a change in school, because okay, the AR is to solve a problem. Okay, so when we solve a problem, such as examination result. Okay, examination result. So from, okay, we find out our result, our student result is low. Is a low. So we need to think a skill and practice a skill to our student, so to make sure they get a better result for them and can increase our achievement in school. Okay, so there will make a change in the school, which is when we apply a practice and skill to our group. So second one is a foster democratic example involvement many individual to approach to education. Okay, so the aim of AR is to solve a problem. So all the stakeholder can may involve to solve a problem when it occur in our school. Okay, so such as if they have a bad examination result, so the principal, the mathematics teacher, the Bahasa Melayu teacher, and all the teacher, all the counselor, or the discipline teacher, and all the stakeholder that are involved in teaching and learning. So they will make a group, they will discuss, they will meeting, so to think about a new skill or new method how to make their school, or how to make the result of a student be more better, be more good. Okay, so there is a foster democratic, so there is a important of AR. Third one is encourage the educator to reflect on their practice, which is when we find out our student is lack of attention in our class. So we try a skill, and then we observe, is it the skill is good for he or she, by reflect our skill. Okay, so when we find out the students still not pay attention, even we have practiced the skill every day, every week, so teacher can reflect what kind of skill they may use to conduct the class. Okay, so she or he may reflect, okay, what need to improve, okay, in a class, okay, what they need to upgrade, okay, what they need to aid in a class. Okay, so to make their teaching and learning be more better. Okay, so the fifth one is to promote a process for testing a new idea, which is when a group of teacher or educator is using a AR, which is action research. So they will think about a new idea, okay, which is teacher will observe and find a more idea about, okay, how to use other skill to solve a problem. Okay, so to solve a problem, we not use one skill. Okay, so teacher will observe, will make some innovation, we make some reflection about other skill, okay, to adding something in their skill to be more better in a teaching and learning. Okay, so this process of AR can make new ideas. Okay, this is a 6 cycle for adding a rigor by having a clear conceptualization of process in action research. So first one, we have embark and clarify. Embark and clarify what? A problem, a skill, okay, a problem, how to solve. Okay, second one, we have a find and generate, which is we need to find a correct or a proper skill, a proper method to being practiced. Okay, when to practice, okay, how to practice, how to apply, for who. Okay, third one is evaluate and reflect, which is after we get a data, after we collect a data, which is we have make a examination, and they still get lower marks in our class. So we need to evaluate our action. Okay, is it our action is not good for him or she? Okay, so evaluate and reflect ourselves to make a better skill. Okay, so fourth one is organize and manage, which is we organize and manage a new thing. Okay, we're not using a same thing. Okay, which is if start class we use this skill, and we will use the skill until the end of the years of learning. So we're not using a same skill. We need to organize and manage something new, organize idea, okay, and manage a new thing, which like, okay, we're not using a same skill in the class. Okay, so fifth one is analyze and synthesize. Sixth one is communicative and apply in ethically, socially, and culturally aware ways. Okay, this is a 6 cycle for the educator to adding a rigor for clear conceptualization. Okay, so this is a model from Chemist and McTaggart 1988, which is they have a plan, act, observe, reflect. So this is can show us about we need to plan, okay, we need to act, and then we need to observe and reflect, and then this thing will cycle back. Okay, cycle back, which is we can turn to plan, act, and then when we observe the plan, our plan is not good, we need to go back to the plan a new thing, okay, and then act, and then observe again, and then reflect again. So the cycle will be continuing until we enhance our teaching and learning, until we get a better teaching and learning, until we get a better result for our group. Okay, so this is such a model from Chemist and McTaggart. So there is a lot of model for action research. Okay, so as a conclusion, as an educator, we need to know how to apply action research in our teaching and learning, which is we need to know how to solve a problem, what kind of skill we need to do, okay, how to reflect ourselves. Okay, as educator, we need to take this responsible. Okay, we need to take a responsible. We need to think about a new thing. We need to create. Okay, we need to create about any ideas to make our goal achieve. Okay, so I will pass to Nur Ain binti Ramli.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Ain Ramli. I'm the last presenter for this presentation. I'm more focused on the building a positive image. Before I proceed to the first slide, I would like to quote from the Christopher that he said, "Nothing succeeds like the appearance of success." Actually, in the business environment, you must understand the constitutes of positive image in order in effectively meet the standard and expectation you set for yourself. In addition, you must recognize the importance of positive image and how this affect your self-confident interaction with the peers and your supervisor. Okay, we move to the first slide. A positive image can be viewed from the two major perspectives. The first one is appearance, and the second one is personal behavior. Appearance is more to know like your attire, and the personal behavior is more to your communication and your attitude.
So, in the area of appearance, you want to develop your ability to dress appropriately and present yourself in an attractive manner. In the area of personal behavior, you want to develop your communication skill and your fine in the use of proper manners and ethics, as well as recognize the importance of appropriate personal behavior. Move to the second slide, which is attribute a positive image. They have four main attributes of positive image, includes appropriate personal professional appearance, use of correct manner and ethic, appropriate personal behavior, and the last but not least is effective communication. Each of these attributes has many aspects in your achieving the overall appropriate and positive image you desire. This is important to pay attention to details and remember at all times that your positive image is composite of both your appearance and personal behavior. We move to the third slide, which is appropriate positive appearance. Positive appearance is a composite of your professional dress and your grooming. Professional dress is involve appropriate clothes selecting based on the following consideration. The first is professional, the second one is company policy, the third is appropriate style for your individual body, and last is type for function you must attend. Personal grooming habits are also very important to your positive image. You must develop and practice good grooming habits to ensure that your appearance is clean and polished. So for this slide, it's more focused on the manner and ethic. Your positive image is also communicated through the use of appropriate manner and ethic. So, some of these include making of introduction and appropriate greeting, being able to initiate and maintain conversation, and knowing appropriate dining rules and protocol. Manners and ethics are important in the overall positive image. You can learn to be proficient in this area and enhance your positive image with practice and attention the ethic requirement for the different situation. Personal behavior. As a professional, you want to practice a code of your personal behavior that demonstrate respect for your organizational and the people who are working with you. Some aspect of personal behavior include respect the organization and their rules, being loyal employee, and respecting the diversity of people. Each of these aspects of personal behavior is very important in the business world, and your reputation for being committed to them will be established early in your career. You should give careful attention to your personal behavior. Okay, last but not least is about communication. Another significant component of your positive image is your ability to communicate effectively with others. This nonverbal communication is include posture, your facial gesture, listening, and personal behavior. In addition to nonverbal communication, your overall ability to communicate effectively is very important. Effective communication required the business environment is include the following: speaking correctly, writing appropriate communication, listening, and communicating verbally is difficult situation. Communication ability can develop and refine as you progress through your career. So, before I end with my presentation, I want to recap back all the important things about building a positive image. Okay, positive image
is more to the business world who are making judgment on your based on your positive image. Thinking about that, positive image is very important to your first appearance. While you come into school, this is very important when the first time you teach your student. The business world has a certain expectation for your appropriate and positive appearance in the business environment. Also same when you come into school. Positive image also consists of personal appearance. It's relative of your clothes, grooming, manners and ethics, and your personal behavior, and also your communication. So it's very important for we as a teachers. So thank you from me.